Hey everybody, Bazzi here, and welcome back to the Eureka Springs project in Planet Coaster 2. This week I've been adding even more details in that rustic township charm to Main Street and Spring Street. And gosh, these colors, you guys, it's really coming to life, and I'm having so much fun building this out. We're adding 5 new buildings to downtown this episode. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, do you even know what game you're playing? Where are the rides? I get it, it's been a lot of storefronts. But as a passionate architecture lover and a huge fan of Eureka Springs, it's most important to me to nail the overall downtown aesthetic and topography first. Then it's easier to incorporate our theme park elements. But I hope you've at least enjoyed the journey of bringing this real-world character to life in Planet Coaster 2. And don't worry, we've got rides coming. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the video, and let's get cracking. First up is the Basin Spring Bath House and Spa. Once a prominent feature of Eureka Springs, this place offered visitors a chance to experience the renowned healing powers of the local springs. Built near the famous Basin Spring, right across the street, it provides bathing facilities and other treatments. Over time, the popularity of the spring declined, probably because the building sign was found to not be so true, but I do love the intrigue that it adds. The building was remodeled and repurposed into a collection of unique boutique shops. While the original bathhouse is gone, its history is still very visible in the building's architecture. And in my Planet Coaster 2 recreation, I think I might hold off on the boutiques and reimagine the space as a themed indoor swimming area, nod to its original purpose while adding a modern twist. I'm imagining 3 smaller pools, maybe all separate levels, spouts from the walls, nice stone tiling, maybe some gilding throughout, and a walkway above that connects to this balcony outside. Yeah. I love what this balcony and bridge do to this area too. It's really nice. And once again, the foliage in this game is looking real good. I've spent the past month or so prepping this park for our restaurant update, and I'm continuing that work here. The next 3 facades down Mud Street are actually all one restaurant and cafe, incorporated together. The New Delhi Cafe. I remember this place being here as a kid. It's often bumping with live music and dancing. I made the first tiny building a little pizza stand just because the shape of the front looked like a pizza sign. The middle building hosts a stage and has tables throughout all 3 levels. I'm crossing my fingers that the new restaurant tables won't be too big for this space, but we will see very shortly. I couldn't manage a 3rd staircase to the 3rd story with such a small space, so I just have that little lounge seating area right off of Spring Street. I haven't been the smartest about laying down the interior pathing networks and facilities before starting on the buildings. I started at the buildings first, which makes it harder to work with later on. And I think this will be my last time bypassing that initial path layout because there is a lounge that I'd love to build on the 2nd story of the one on the right, here with this deckless door on the 2nd story. But I don't know how, if the space will allow for a path in between the path above and below. So possible error in play. Regardless, I love how we are able to create such tight spaces and thin staircases like this one. The building layout possibilities have expanded tenfold since the last games. Next up, we are headed up the historic real-life Eureka Pride steps. I'm so happy with how these turned out. They look amazing. I was wondering how I could pull it off because, I don't know, I was like, we don't have colored steps, but it wasn't that hard. I just lined a bunch of colored planks on each stair and then copied and pasted up, and up. The Basin Park Hotel is not in the background when you're looking up the staircase. I am running into some accuracy issues from months ago. When I had first laid out these hotels up top, I clearly didn't look at the bird's eye view for comparison because I messed up the overall shape of the Basin Park Hotel. I think I'm gonna have to take some time to re-angle this wall over here and redo this path network because that view up the Pride stairs is super important. And it means reshaping the staircase and shop on the corner, but I definitely think it will be worth it. And to the next facade, a patisserie on Spring Street. Guys, I don't mean to be dramatic, but I think this just may have to be my favorite facade I've ever built. I am so pleased with this. It just makes my heart burst looking at it. Wow. The curvature of this street and the ornate structural details resonate so deeply within my memory. It started when I finished Basin Spring Park, but completing this opposite side of Spring Street is truly awesome. It really highlights how a combination of specific inclines, shapes, spatial divisions, light, and color can create such a distinct vibe, and how this game provides the ability and canvas to achieve it. It's really amazing. For the exterior, I used mostly coaster supports, plain support beams, and footers, scaled super small. And since it is such a featured storefront, I did recessed windows instead of just placing them on the wall surface. I also added individual brick bonding on the top trim for added detail. New fun fact, for me at least, you can build brick by brick if you want. All the more proof that compared to the first games, Planet Coaster 2 is within another caliber of design capabilities. I do have footage of this facade build, and I'm considering doing a small separate time-lapse for those that are curious to see. The right side, I was able to achieve the Onyx Cave advertisement, which turned out to be a lot better than I expected. I was half ready to just use a billboard, but the brick decal and text worked really great. The wanted billboard next to it is mostly a placeholder. I want to create another ad there for the Crescent Hotel, and then I definitely plan to build the cave and the hotel elsewhere in the park later on. Probably do a coaster or flume in the cave. I also have one more building started on Spring Street, on the opposite side of our staircase, a gift shop in real life. This has yet to be finished. I have yet to recess these windows and doors. For most of my storefronts, I've decided to try to stick with real glass pieces for custom windows and then use the opaque window pieces for any stories above. My general workflow at this point is to place all walls, then exterior features, doors, windows, etc., and then go back and delete walls and apply smaller pieces where it need to be. I think continuing on this section up the streets to maintain spatial accuracy, I will lay out all the building walls and general structure shapes. But before I do that, I need to adhere to my new rule, which is to make sure my paths and facilities are set first. I have mentioned multiple times that I plan to do a coaster challenge somewhere, so my creative juices are flowing for an idea to put a Wild Mouse coaster here on Spring Street, going through all these future storefronts and winding and weaving in and out of the back windows, going through different floors. Here's what it looks like in real life for context. Maybe something more reminiscent of a ride at Silver Dollar City or something. We have a lot of functional storefronts so far, so I think we can afford to spend a few on a small ride. This feels like a wild concept with such limited space and limited interior abilities of mine, so I'm interested to see how I pull it off. Honestly, I started this whole series questioning if I'm even good at interiors, and now look how many I've set up for myself. All for realism. Anyways, that about wraps up this week's episode. For all of you joining me on this silly fun recreation of a place I hold so dear in my heart, thanks for tagging along. This is becoming more realistic and awesome than I even originally imagined. Let me know in the comments what you all think and what you'd like to see more of, time lapses or tours, rides, probably rides. Anyways, till next time, as always, take care.